Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about a good story called Mississippi Solo. Mississippi Solo is about a man who has a really good relationship with the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River was founded on May 8th, 1541. It is the second longest river that starts from Lake Itasca and ends in the Gulf of Mexico. The river goes into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, of course, and Louisiana. This story deals with patience, excitement, and happiness. Our two main characters of this story are Eddie Harris and Mississippi River. Our story takes place in 1988, located in Mississippi, the USA. This book takes place in 1988, the same year that this book also takes place in. The author puts a lot of similes, metaphors, and adjectives. For an example, the author uses the day turned gray and strange. What they mean by that is the sky was turning dark and gloomy, and it sounded like it was preparing for a storm. Surprisingly, there are even more metaphors and similes. Anyways, let's keep talking about the main key events in this story, shall we? How this story starts is on a nice sunny day where the author, Eddie Harris, is going to the river after a long day. In the book, he describes he's not speaking, thinking, or moving. He's just watching the nature and, most importantly, the river. The Mississippi River, of course. On the second page of this memoir, he starts to realize that the river is trying to talk to him. The river is turning from the color puce to a brown, thick, and murky green. Eddie Harris also describes that the sky's turning gray and strange. The river is whispering to him, "Get ready." The clouds start to whirl together like a lightning storm. There's rain in the distance that's coming towards him like a rapidly gray avalanche. The air starts to get hot and dry. The rain's coming faster than a hurricane. He couldn't find the shore, only trees because of flooding. Right now, we're going to talk about the metaphors and the similes in this area. Before we start talking about similes and metaphors in this part, let's clear up what they are. A simile is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing to a different kind. It's used to describe something with another. A metaphor is a figure of speech which, in a word or phrase, is applied to an object or an action which is not literally applicable. Now that we've gone through what a simile and a metaphor are, we can now go over some of the similes and metaphors in this memoir. First, we'll start with similes. In the memoir, when the rain is coming closer to Eddie, he says the rain in the distance is coming like a gray avalanche. The simile is describing how the rain looks like a gray avalanche coming towards him. Next, we'll do metaphors. A metaphor in this memoir is the far curtain of the insulated air. What the memoir is trying to say is that the air is like a curtain and is difficult to breathe because of the conditions that Eddie Harris is in. Now that we're done with the metaphor and simile part, we can talk about the third and final key event of our wonderful story. When Eddie's getting pulled by the water, he tries to leap into his canoe and tries to maneuver it at the same time while he's getting pulled. While he's struggling, cold water hits his back, giving him a shiver down his spine. He feels drenched and is soaked with water. He kind of liked the way that the water was folding him. He felt like a cocoon and didn't feel threatened. After ages of holding on to a tree, just waiting for it to stop, Suddenly, after it felt like an eternity of holding on, the rain just suddenly stopped. The rain was leaving to go bother someone else. This is where our story ends. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and listened carefully. Have a great rest of your day.